We've been having this theme of Stardust for like 5 weeks, and we finally figured out we should play Ziggy Stardust for the service. So there you go. Yeah. A couple of things. It's a pleasure to have Chris Brown with us today. Bird Snake, looking good. And extra exciting is our drummer John back here. His wife Bew and his daughter Matilda are here. That's Matilda in the back. Teeny tiny, good looking little baby. This is her first time to see her dad at work, isn't it?
Not ever.
Ever, yeah. No, just at work. Okay, let's get started now. Here we go. Hi.
It's like snapping off 100-foot pole. It's like holding your breath, then letting go. It's like giving in to the fire, giving out. It's like giving up, precious doubt. How does it feel skipping rope with your fears, laughing as you fall? Can you see it all? Intertwined, tangled vines, twisted lines. We are handfuls of dust. We are pieces of sky. We are thundering silence, answering why we are zeros, we are ones. We're everything, and everyone. We are silence, we are storms. We die and we are born. We're emptiness, we are formed. We are handfuls of dust. We are pieces of sky. We are thundering silence, answering why. We're gods in the ruins, gods in the making. We are handfuls of dust. We are pieces of sky. We are thundering silence, answering why. We're gods in the ruins, gods in the making. We are.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Wow, it's good to be missed. We weren't here last week, and I'm thankful for those of you who checked on us. But I was out of town, and my sister had a migraine and couldn't bring Mom. But I did watch it on the plane on the way back, so that was kind of cool. What's that? No, that's what it was. I wasn't going to say anything, but let's just keep that a secret. Join me with the welcome candle, and welcome everybody, whenever you are and wherever you are, right? Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. It doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you have broken vows 1,000 times. Come yet again.
Thank you, Wes. Group, it is time to stand and sing together a good old classic 11:11 hymn, if you will. It's Wake Up. Here we go. Here we go now. Wake up, the dawn is here. Wake up, cast off all your fear. Whatever haunts your dreams, we'll leave beside these streams. All right, chorus. And wake up, wake up. Wake up, eh? Wake up, wake up, oh yeah. The dawn is here. Now the verse, the past is a memory, and the next thing is a mystery. Oh, from different roads we came. Yet somehow it's all the same. Chorus, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. The dawn is here. Oh yeah. Another verse. This life is a storybook right now. If you only look, we'll see the pages turning. We'll feel our spirits burning. Horse, wake up, 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 yeah. The dawn is here. Chris, come on now. Just wake up, for now is your time. Wake up now, joy is ours to find, and beauty waits to be discovered. As every day stone is uncovered. Oh, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, yeah. The dawn is here. Another chorus, yeah. Wake up, come on. Wake up, all right. Wake up, wake up, wake up, yeah. The dawn is here. Oh, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, the dawn is here, yeah, the dawn is here, 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 the dawn is here. The dawn is here. Now that got a little wild, y'all. Come on now. Wee, yeah. Okay. Two things, if you would take a moment and offer one another a sign of peace, and I mean go around the room and work it hard. The second thing, that would be the same time that you can bring your offerings on up to these little wicker baskets on the stage. Be generous, y'all. Go crazy. Awesome. And ready, go.
All right, good people. I know we love each other, but we're going on back to your seats. There's a lot of energy in here today. We almost had a praise break. Can you, if you can hear me, say yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to 1111 in the Garden. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kagan Parker, spiritual director, strange thinker. Happy to be here. It's fantastic to see you all this morning. Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, everybody got one of these? It's okay. I'll read it to you anyway. So we are finishing up our series this week, and there's quite a few things that are ending. So we ended our book club on Wednesday. We're going to be taking a break this week and then starting up again. I haven't decided on the day. We're still finding it out. But we're starting a new book, Braiding Sweetgrass. If you're interested in joining us, it's going to be wonderful. It's all about how we can have a better relationship with the world around us in pursuit of a better tomorrow, a fuller today, a really interesting and spiritual look at what, environmentalism is and why that matters to us. So we're also not doing wine and wishful thinking this week, so I'll miss you all very much. If you want to hang out, let me know, because I'm not doing anything this week. It's kind of sad. Let's see. Monday Musers begins July 14th to August 11th. Vacation Bible School, which I know you guys are all looking forward to, is 7th through 11th. I'm going to be volunteering, so come say hi. Hope you'll see me arms full of children and running down the halls. We're also starting our summer potlucks up again on July 16th, which is going to be really fun. Let's see. And all that's, yes, all that's, thank you. All that's at the main church. If you've never been to our mother church, it's really wonderful, and we'd be happy to show you around. It has a ton of really cool stuff that happens there, but the best things happen here on Sundays. And I have a weird question for you, and some of you answered on Facebook, which I really loved. But I asked it, you wake up, and it's 3025, and you find a shrine in your honor. What weird thing is at the center? Do I have any volunteers? We got a garden. I had someone say a pickleball racket. There was a really strange, like, God-looking image that Betsy posted. Does anybody else have any weird thoughts? A rock and a bird feeder. A flying pig. Heck yeah. Miss Helona? A stained glass wall out of empty wine bottles. Amen. Yes, sir. An apple made out of glass. That's really cool. Anybody else? Yeah! Bottle of tequila. What else? Anybody else? Bottle of solvent. Okay. Yeah, no. We gotta talk. But I invite you all to kind of be thinking about it, because today we're talking about ancestors. So this question was kind of there to kind of push you in the right direction, thinking about what we want to leave behind and how we want to impact the generations that come after us. So thank you all for that. That was a lot of fun. We'll be moving on to our Kairos moment. So I invite you guys to just relax, enjoy the music, and we'll begin our meditation afterwards.
What your hands do, it's your eyes that they see. So won't you judge your actions to make sure results are clean? It's your conscience that is gonna remind you that it's your heart and nobody else that is gonna judge. Be not selfish in your doings. Pass it on. Help your brothers in their needs. Pass it on. Live for yourself and you live in vain. Live for others and you live again. In the kingdom of Jah, man shall reign. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. What's in the darkness must be revealed to light. We're not here to judge what's good from bad, to do the things that are right on a hot sunny day, yeah, under the shadows of rescue. But as the day grows old, I know the sun is gonna find. Be not selfish in your doings. I pass it on. Help your brothers in their needs. Pass it on. Live for yourself and you live in vain. Live for others and you live again. In that kingdom of Jah, man shall reign. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. Ooh. Ah, oh.
That was awesome,
Thank you, Cynthia.
but I still have wake up in my head. That one. Good morning. I'm Cynthia Powell, and I'm delighted to be here guiding the Kairos moment. And I'd like to start with a daily word, and today is connection. I give thanks for my connection with divine and all others in my life. I make types of connections in my life: family, friends, colleagues, acquaintances. I also make connections with people of similar faiths and beliefs as we gather for spiritual services. My most powerful connection is the one I have with divine. It is boundless, transcending time and limitations. It brings strength, peace, and joy. As I connect with divine, I'm connecting with the power that guides and rejuvenates and energizes me. I'm now changing I to we. We give thanks for connection with divine because it reminds us that we are not alone and that we walk our path with a divine inner light illuminating our way. We trust in this power always and embrace this connection through each person that we meet throughout each day. Now, I think I'm going to do something a little engaging this morning, if that's all right with our spiritual leader, the guider. So when I teach meditation and mindfulness, I sometimes hear something that you may already know, but I don't have what to do a meditation practice. I have lack of time. So I'm going to bust that by showing you 2 1-minute practices that you can dive into at any point, wherever you are, whomever you're with. So the first, you may already be familiar with, it's called the 5 senses practice. So I'm going to encourage you to be in a comfortable position if you aren't already. Hopefully you are. And I'm going to invite you to notice 5 things in this room that you can see. Just 5 things that you can see, maybe even challenging yourself to notice something you haven't noticed before. And now I'm going to invite you to notice 4 things that you can touch or feel. Could be the fabric of your clothing, could be your hands, could be the chair, could be the person beside you, if that's okay. Boundaries, y'all have boundaries? Now I'm going to invite you to tune into 3 things that you can hear. This even could be silence. Now I'll invite you to 2 things you can smell. And now 1 thing you can taste. Could be coffee remaining in your mouth or toothpaste. Maybe tequila for some people. And so that was a 5 senses practice. That took, I believe, less than a minute, although I didn't time myself. I think it was about a minute. The second one I want to share with you is a 5-finger breathing practice. So I'm going to encourage you to lift up one of your hands. Okay. Take your index finger and put it on the side of your pinky. And when we go up the finger, we inhale. We pause at the top. We exhale and pause. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Certainly go at your own pace if you like. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause, and inhale once more with this practice. And exhale. So again, less than 1 minute. I love busting misconceptions. So this is the 2 practices that you can tune to. And I'd like to close with a quote. This is from Brené Brown. Spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. Practicing spirituality brings a sense of perspective, meaning, and purpose to our lives. Namaste.
I'm not as statuesque as Cynthia. When I read this sacred text, it took me back to a time when I moved to Seattle, and I learned how to recycle and how to be a bike commuter. And it made me think about the impact that we can have every day by making simple changes. So the sacred text is Tomorrow's Child by Glenn C. Thomas. Without a name, an unseen face, and knowing not your time nor place, tomorrow's child, though yet unborn, I met you first last Tuesday morn. A wise friend introduced us to, and through his shining point of view, I saw a day that you would see, a day for you, but not for me. Knowing you has changed my thinking, for I never had an inkling that perhaps the things I do might someday, somehow threaten you. Tomorrow's child, my daughter's son, I'm afraid I've just begun to think of you and of your good, though always having known I should. Begin I will to weigh the cost of what I squander, what is lost. If ever I forget that you will someday come to live here too. I became a parent after moving to Seattle, and so that really resonates with me, and I hope it does with you as well.
The mic's never on this side. I feel weird. Like, that really threw me off this morning. I was like, wait, it's on the other side. How y'all doing? Good. That was a little bit of energy. How are we doing? Okay. Great. I'm glad to hear it. Welcome to our last Sunday of Born of Stardust. I'm kind of sad. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you for journeying with me through the stars, through the cosmic universe. It's been kind of life-changing to look at these unique invitations found in the queer community and then accept them. Like, I think there's one thing to like bear witness to something, but to pull it into your own life and find joy there and connection there. Like, that's good stuff, y'all. We've done some good things. Over the past weeks, I've been sent pictures and videos and articles and movies of all the different ways that the invitations have kind of popped up for people. Miss Helona went on a college tour. On the next slide, she walked into a church and we had dancing in stained glass. How cool is that? I feel like I would have seen this and not thought anything of it if we hadn't taken the time to look at dancing. You know how you just kind of look at things, but they don't really speak to you until you've made a connection there. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's so cool to get that. So we'll be doing a little bit more zooming today. I think zooming out has been a thread that we've kind of carried through this series, so I'll tug on it once more. It's been fun kind of honing this skill of like backing up just a little bit and getting the big picture. It's a skill that came in handy recently. I got in a spirited conversation. And I heard a little whisper that said, back up. And so I did. And it transformed my spirited conversation into a passionate dialogue of laughs and different perspectives and learning. And I was really grateful to kind of have that tool in my back pocket. But instead of moving away from something, we'll kind of be wiggling through time and space today. Is that okay? Okay. We'll be looking at the past, the ancestors who came before us. Then we'll be flying into the future where we will all be ancestors. And then we'll end our journey back here in the present. So it should be entertaining. Y'all let me know what you think. But before we start, I want to do a quick recap, and I want to be vulnerable and ask for help. Is that okay? Okay. So I'm going to say the major theme from each of the weeks, and I want y'all to, like, in unison, like, there's no taking turns, scream at me what you came away with from that week. Is that okay? We think we can do that? Okay. So week 1 was Stardust. What did we find? Scream. We're all stardust. The universe, origins. Say it, eternity. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. What else? Unity. What else? Connection. We're all parasites. That's the one that really stuck out. Okay, week 2 is authentic self-expression. What did we get from that? Love. I love that. What else? We're connected through our expression, right? I saw a hand. Hope. And you, empathy. Freedom. We're created beings. I like that. Also, hope came from a gentleman that wasn't even here when we did it. So I'm going to need y'all to, don't let him outdo y'all. But thank you so much. You did wonderful. So week 3 is chosen family. What did we find there? I know. Safety. Ooh, that's good. What else? Community, new perspective. What else? Connection and acceptance. Oh, see, this is why I'm asking for the help. I wouldn't have been able to do it quite this well. I really appreciate this. Okay, and last week was Dancing as Divine. What did we get from that? Fun. A lot of fun. Joy. What else? Letting go of self-consciousness. Louder from the back. Letting go of self-consciousness. Ooh wee. Moving is healing. Yes, ma'am. Somewhere in the dancing was chosen family too, right? Just kind of tucked in there gently. You're welcome. What else do we got? Taking a risk. Change. Spirit of freedom. See, it's better when it comes from out here. Thank you. That was really fantastic. I have my little blurbs written, but I think it's more impactful to hear how it all digested and landed with you all, and that we can share that with one another, because that's how we learn, right? Together. It's not just like a one-way situation. It goes all directions. So, ancestors is our topic today. Let's start with the definition. Ancestors are typically defined as family members that came before you, people who helped raise you, taught you to be a good human, who you may know personally, but perhaps who you don't know personally, but perhaps you know their names, you have their pictures. Who here knows their ancestors? I see some maybes, I see some yeses, I see some nos. That's fantastic. I think it's really important to know of the people who aided in bringing you into this life. It's sacred to be able to have their names and to know anything of them. Not everybody can, which is really interesting. But we hold pieces of them within us, whether we know their names or not. Neuroscience tells us that ancestral memory, what we hold, tell, and feel, it lives in our bodies. The brain's relational memory systems activate when we speak their names. Did y'all know that? So when we think of them, when we reach for them, it's not just a feeling. Our brains are actually reaching for them as well. And we're connecting with them, exploring what they left us, and it's a form of honoring our ancestors, which is a new idea to me, this idea of honoring ancestors. Has anybody else kind of heard this? Honoring of ancestors? I feel like Mulan was the very first time I ever came across it, when she's in her shrine and all of the figureheads are up above. I think it's really crazy to think about it, but seeing where I stand today, in another lifetime, I spent a good amount of time away from the church. It left me. I used to say that I left the church, but the church left me. And during our time apart, I began inspecting the ideas, the rules, the beliefs that had built a home in my heart. I began to see if they were structurally sound. Beginning that journey was terrifying, and it still continues today. But as I did construction, I tore down the houses that were rotting and made of cardboard that didn't quite stand. And there was a lot of empty space left. And so this idea of honoring ancestors is something I've begun building on an empty plot of land that was left behind. I've never had an interest in discovering more about my family. I was young and selfish and determined to carve out a space for myself in this world, which is not a bad thing, but it was really stressful trying to rule the world when I knew nothing of it, and I knew nothing about the people who had walked it before me. And so during one of my meditations one day, I distinctly remember feeling like a click. And I began to feel a really strong pull towards understanding more about where I'd come from. And so I began asking really hard questions and getting in people's faces, I know you have the details, tell me. And out poured stories that I had never heard before. They were exciting. There was armed robbery. There was a romantic marriage runaway. There was actually a murder in my family. This was really crazy stuff that no one had ever told me as a kid. And my grandpa said something really important. The first time I ever asked him a tough question was that it's difficult to share these things with people who aren't listening. And that was like a gut punch, because I knew he was right. I hadn't been listening before. So I learned all these facts about people I considered close to me, and apparently I knew nothing of the lives that they had lived before my existence. And I was shocked at the richness that rested in my veins. And it's not just a poetic phrase. Epigenetics tells us that ancestors, their trauma, their resilience, their joy, it's all encoded in our DNA. We don't just carry their stories, we carry their chemical signatures. So when I listened, I wasn't just hearing about them, I was remembering these people on a cellular level, and that was really cool. So I began looking deeper, past my family, and into the other Black women in this world who'd walked like I do, and I began to claim them too as my own. I soon expanded my reach into other spiritual figures, social activists, poets, and singers, and I'd scooted them into my arms, and I was like, yeah, y'all are mine too. The work that they did, the journeys they took, the lives that they lived, all impacted the life I live today. So I've officially expanded my understanding of what an ancestor is, and I'm inviting you all to do the same with me today. I think that yes, those who brought you into this realm, they are ancestors, but they're not our only ones. Anthropologists across Africa and indigenous cultures remind us that ancestry is not bound by bloodline alone. We talked about this in Chosen Family as well. Ancestors includes those who shaped your path, held your people, and who dreamed of you. Alexis Pauline Gumbs says that we are the prophecy of the ancestors, and we are the evidence of their dreaming. How cool. How breathtaking. Someone long ago who lived this mysterious life was dreaming about us, thinking of us, hoping that we would live a life different from their own, creating a way for us to live in bigger, bolder, and kinder ways. How fantastic to know that you were thought of. It's why I feel so comfortable inviting you to claim these people as our own, because they've already claimed us. Environmentalists, scientists, religious figures, social activists, artists, anybody, people just like me and you who took the time to heal their wounds and not pass them on to their children, who expanded their hearts to help undo the hate in this world, they are our ancestors. And we are well supported. Asia Monet takes it a little step further, and she says that we are the wildest dreams of those who could never have imagined us. And this makes me giggle because life has really changed a lot. Not at the same time, but it's changed in a lot of ways, and I'm sure the ancestors could have never imagined lives being lived the way that they're being lived today. Audre Lorde is one of my favorite authors. You'll hear me talk about her pretty often. As someone who moved through life like me, her work has been profoundly impactful to my healing and to my understanding of what it is that I'm doing here on this planet, and I wonder if she could have imagined me. It's kind of fun to think about. I doubt she could have. I really do. And then I think about my great-great-great-grandma, who I have pictures of on my wall, and I know she thought about me. In all her vibrancy and her suffering, she dreamed of me had me in mind as she persevered through impossible times. I don't think that she ever could have imagined my stardust would land like this. I imagine us giggling about it. And yet our stardust is shared. Cosmic matter recycles endlessly. What lived in them lives in us, the same atoms, the same bones. We're connected to these people. What a gift to be thought of, to be imagined, to be the thing of dreams. And does that feel kind of far away? I feel like when I was first thinking about this, the idea that I was a dream of someone that I'll never meet, like that just, empowering. It makes me stand a little taller. And the response to this gift of being thought of, if one ever finds themselves in the space to acknowledge it, I believe is to live well. To live authentically, to heal, to grow, to love recklessly, to build new things, to do away with the old. Russell McKinnon says that we do not heal just for ourselves, but for our ancestors and for those yet to come. To think that how we live makes space and leaves space for the humans that will walk this earth after us. And to imagine the future humans may find inspiration in the way that we lived for our unique expressions. It's a grand idea. What I found even grander somehow was that our becoming, our authentic selves, our stretch towards soul, and soul and body towards freedom, is an offering of gratitude and healing for those who had us in mind. We have things they wish that we would have. Our lives are part of an ancient and silent dialogue, one of stardust and holy threads of connection. Thank you, Cynthia. It was like you read my mind. It's the most cosmic conversation that we'll ever be part of. The call and response of existence. We belong to them. Their lives lead to ours. I used to feel lonely in this world, but when I turned around and I saw all the lives that burned brightly so that I would have light to see, I realized I've never been alone. There's Howard Thurman, Malcolm X, Gandhi, Joan of Arc, Eleanor Roosevelt, David Attenborough, Thurgood Marshall. The list is long, full of all these people who fought for equal rights, all the people who died for human rights, for social justice, all the people who healed in silence in pursuit of not adding to the pain in this world. We belong to them and they to us. It's part of interconnectedness that I think we can lean more into sometimes and allow it to inform us what we can do as future ancestors. So we've kind of bathed in the path a little bit in the past. It feels good. I think I should do that a little bit more often, but let's move to the future. The beautiful inevitability that we will all pass from this realm and return to stardust and become ancestors ourselves. We will also be able to claim the future generations as our own. They belong to us. They're mine, they're yours. And I think I could rest knowing that we thought of them and that we moved with them in mind. I find peace in that, immense peace, that no matter what happens after this, because I'm not sure, I know that I made sure that my life would be felt in a positive way. The ripples that my one droplet of self makes in the sea of life pushed us a little bit closer to each other. Isn't that cool to think about? Yes. Even if it's just a little bit. It's empowering to think that our efforts will one day join the efforts of countless others, those who have inspired us, those who have given us hope, those who silently considered us. Our voices will join theirs forever in a chorus of love. And we get to dream about the ones who are yet to come. Prepare this world for them. Leave breadcrumbs for them to find on their journey of life. And I've begun taking this role kind of serious. I don't take many things seriously, but I take this pretty seriously. It's just really resonated with me. This land was prepared for us. Let us prepare it for the next. It's something that I know we can do. We can do that. That's doable. And once we realize this interconnectedness, the ownership over the next generations, our responsibility to them, it's really difficult to ignore it. And that's what happened to the author of our sacred text today. And that's what made it sacred. He saw the thread and he claimed his role. Glenn was a normal guy. I don't think you guys have ever heard the name Glenn C. Thomas. He was a really normal dude and wasn't a poet. He was actually an employee of a Interface Incorporated. It's a carpet manufacturing company founded by Ray C. Anderson. Glenn got caught up in a beautiful domino effect during his employment under Ray. And Ray's important. So Ray Anderson was a successful capitalist selling carpet tiles. And during his time, he experienced what he called the spear in the chest moment. He read the book, The Ecology of Commerce. The Ecology of Commerce was a book written in 1993 by environmentalist Paul Hawken. He calls for businesses to shift from the harming of the planet to healing it by operating in harmony with nature. And after he read that book, Ray Anderson realized he had no environmental vision. He experienced a mid-course correction, which I think is such a gracious term. We simply discover something and we decide to go another way. There's no shame there. There's no hatred there. There's no anger. You simply make a decision. His company was plundering the earth and ruining it for the future generations, and he decided that he no longer could participate in that. And to this day, Interface is famous for its model of sustainable industry. They became a massively successful zero-harm company, and Glenn worked there and learned from the example of Ray. And one day he woke up and was burning with inspiration, and he wrote the poem I shared with you all today. It made its way back to his boss, and Ray actually used it at the end of his, all his TED Talks for the rest of his tours, really. It spoke to why his change was necessary. And my favorite line from the poem is, "Knowing you has changed my thinking, for I never had an inkling that perhaps the things I do might someday somehow threaten you." What a sobering moment. When you've encountered something that changes the way that you think, that you approach life. And what I want to point out here is the power of inspiration. A book was written with the hope to inspire. A man was moved with the hope to change. And that inspired a beautiful work of art that we shared here today. I don't think that any of them knew that that was quite where their passions would go. I'm always in awe of the interconnectedness of the human experience without each other. These men probably wouldn't have made it to a place where they could acknowledge tomorrow's child, where they could become ancestors. Their actions made me think of a quote by Lely Long Soldier. It says that history cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. And that's what it felt like they did. Instead of participating in capitalism the way society told them was acceptable, they said no more. I know what comes of that, and I'd like to do something different. They couldn't change the actions of the rest of the world, but they could decide how they wanted to move. And they decided to participate in a bigger mystery. It was probably really scary to change the entire infrastructure of your company. A huge risk. He could have lost it all. But he invested in the days he would never see, and something life-changing came of that. So we've looked at the past, and we've looked at the future. Let's look at the now. Because I think that each of us in here can say that our lives, along the way, that something has inspired us, caused a mid-course correction, or forced a mid-course correction. We were hit with something that impacted the way that we were moving and inspired something different, invited us into another way of being. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge that today. Our community is made of humans who have been inspired to do life differently. Full of humans who go against the current and look for the mystery, who do the hard work, the endless work of unknowing and unlearning, who have made a home within uncertainty. This room is full of people who have had the courage to search for questions rather for answers, full of people who love hard, who move with kindness even when it feels like there's no reason to. This work matters, down to the smallest of redirections. Every moment matters. When we move with a desire for a fuller today and a more expansive tomorrow, we can build something that we can't even imagine. And that's special. You guys are special. All that you do with those who will walk this earth after us in mind will be forever known intimately by the stars. And we're not alone. Reverend Angel Cato Williams says that the world will be inherited by those who let go of the illusion of separation. And I am so proud to say that we are part of the dreamers who are thinking of them, preparing for those who will one day live outside the illusion of separation. I'm going to invite the band back up. There's a lot going on in the world today, right? And I too have felt the stings of powerlessness, of sorrow, of anger, and heartbreak. But as Miriam Kaba says, hope is a discipline. We must not only hold hope dear in our hearts, we must give it to one another and fill each other's hearts. And I can say with the certainty of our ancestors that this too shall pass. And it is already passing with every sunset. Know that how we choose to move impacts people will never meet, as we are all connected. So today, let me fill your hearts with hope, even if it's just a little. And join me in acknowledging all the work and the efforts, the unlearning, the unknowing that we do here, and know with certainty that it matters. And that with all that I am, I see you. And I thank you. Amen.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say that I'm a dreamer,
Yeah, you got me with that one. It's fine. It's okay. Will you all stand for our benediction? Beloved ones, know that your efforts do not go unseen. Your love, your kindness, your patience, it all matters. All that you do will be forever known by the stars. Remember that you are the thing of dreams, a wonder beyond imagination, and know that when we choose to look for redemptive possibilities, when we choose to look for stardust, that we are preparing this world for those who will walk after us. And that is something to celebrate. Go in peace. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Bye.